Hello. This is the weekly inbound marketing recap and demo day meeting. And we're going to kick this off. We have a new team member, Nathan Dubard, front-end engineer. And I was wondering first, what is your favorite food?
Oh, man. I gotta go with pad thai, chicken pad thai. I know it's pretty specific, but yeah.
And then second, which credit value resonates with you most and why?
Which credit value?
Yeah, collaboration, results.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I don't know what. I was on the phone with my bank today, so for some reason I jumped to like credit card.
Not credit cards, no.
Yeah. To use for that's the transparency one, right? Yeah, so definitely that. I've noticed just from even the first couple of days, like I feel like I know way more about the company, about everybody. And so it's nice that there's no kind of secrets. So that's definitely the one that resonates the most with me.
Yeah, I love transparency. GitLab is great at it. Okay, Tyler's got the next section.
Yeah, it looks like I'm running Moments of Insight. And so if anyone wants to drop in there, so this is just a moment for people to share things they were surprised to learn this week that other folks might be interested in, life, work, customers, product, leadership, coding. I dropped one in here yesterday. I had caught this Twitter thread on Sunday, and it really I thought that people at GitLab would like it a lot, especially as we, because of our iteration value and as teams work on iteration value. It's long as far as Twitter threads go, but it's not too long if you were to think of it as a blog post. I think it's consumable, and it's a little developer focused, but it also for each developer example. The author tries to include product design as well. So I think that it's I think it's useful for a lot of different contexts. But basically it's an investigation or a conversation about path focused design. And the one link that I linked to, although that direct link seems to just bring you back to the thread, so sorry about that. There's a link about basically the gist of it is that it's okay to if you're writing code or if you're doing product design, it's okay to do something that you're going to have to come back and redo or touch again. And I think that especially for people writing software, we get really almost scolded or to live the don't repeat yourself mantra from day one. And I think that that is harmful because it's okay, it's okay to do things twice, because you're going to know more about the thing later on. And this is also talking about how to get to, he uses there's a city on a hill and you're trying to get there, and it's it's okay if the intermediary steps, if you have to redo them, you're going to have to make multiple rest stops right along the way to the city of the hill. And I think it's a really good analogy, and I think it's something just to I don't know, cut yourself a break, because if you want to do small changes, you're going to have to write stuff that isn't perfect, and that's just the way it is. And I think that that's or it's an opinion on the way it is that I think might resonate with folks here, and I like it. And I see Brandon has one next.
Yeah, so this is a quote that I read the other day, and it kind of resonated with me. It's very similar in a lot of ways to, go with the flow, or, very Zen attitude, or, don't dwell on the past, those sorts of things. And it kind of combines all of them together and then adds one important detail that I think is, really important that maybe the other parts missed out on. So let go of what is past, let go of what may come, let go of what is happening now. Don't try to figure anything out. Don't try to make anything happen. Relax right now and rest. And so that last line really resonated with me. You can go with the flow, and you can try, or you can try and force something to happen, right? But maybe if you're trying to force something happen, it's just not going to happen, and you were looking in the wrong place, so you maybe missed what you should be observing. So it's basically slowing down, being restful, being your best self, so that when you need to action something, you can. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. I think there's a lot of lessons in this quote. And that's it for me. Looks like Niall's up next with metrics.
Yeah, we'll probably just have to give it a skip for this meeting, as we did change to a new format for the calculations in the last meeting. So they updated the data sources and the processes. So I only just got a chance to look at there previously, and I just have to get my head around where the pace and other calculations are coming from. So I'll update it straight away after the meeting, but apologies for that. There was a bit of a drop the ball on my behalf. So just going into Lauren for a show and tell.
All right, show and tell. This is a section where we're going to show stuff that we've been up to, and anyone can contribute by briefly sharing something that you're proud of and you've completed this week. Screen sharing highly encouraged, not mandatory. And Tyler, you got the first one.
Yeah, let's share screen here. Desktop 2. Cool. Okay. There we go. So this is, I added a script to the about.gitlab.com repository. This is something that Danielle had been looking for, but I know that like other folks will be interested, and she had tagged a few folks in this as well. I wanted to give sort of a quick overview of what it is. So the way we build a marketing site is there's not a one-to-one correlation with like one file per page. So it's not necessarily a trivial task to say like, hey, when was like, can we programmatically find out when the last time a page was updated is? But we can use a proxy for it, and we can basically check the relevant directories, their files, and their Git histories, and figure out roughly when, well, we can figure out precisely when the last Git commit is on a page, right? And then like we can do human assessment to say like, okay, that translates to something. And so there's a script now that, so what you're looking at here is the output. I just dropped it in the temp folder because that doesn't get version controlled. So you can run this as much as you want and like not worry about like dumping a bunch of CSVs into the repository. It'll just stay on your local machine. And so basically it's just the file path, which is relative to your repository, and the commit date, which is the ISO 8601 format. So I think a lot of these are straightforward enough to be useful. So things like we've got in our data folder, you know, you can see the release posts here. I know I'm scrolling fast, but I wanted to get down to like data/topics. So like, you know, if you wanted to know the last time that Agile delivery was updated, you can see that as of the time that I generated this file, it was May 5th, right? And this is a CSV, so you can pull it out to an Excel sheet and like run a bunch of stuff on it. It does pick up a whole bunch of the like files that are like template files, right? So there's a little bit of noise here, but I think it's somewhat useful. And the way you run it, I'm not going to show the whole run because it takes a while. So we don't have this set up through CI or any sort of like automatic reporting because the script has to call out to, and it's not running, great. Oh, RB. The script has to call out to the system to check the Git commit history, and that's like an expensive process. So this is the sort of thing where like, if you're gonna go make some coffee and you wanna see the latest commits, you can run this and come back in 20 minutes and check out your CSV. So that's in there. There's an MR link in the agenda that also has the instructions with the thing that you can copy and paste into your terminal. So yeah, and then up next is Suri, who's not in the call.
I can vocalize for her. She hosted the Inbound Marketing Group Conversation. Special appearances by Val, Sarah, and Jeff. Deck brought to you by Bree, and she really enjoyed sharing all the contributions made by the content marketing and editorial in Q1. Great work, team. Niall.
Yeah, thanks. So just share my screen. So we were just creating basically a centralized dashboard for the content marketing team, just on various metrics. So just to stop having to use various different boards as well. Also, I kind of congregated them all onto a single sheet. So the link that was provided previously to the teams gives access to all of this now. So there's a reporting dashboard for the blogs and performance based on page views and other metrics, and the top performers, which can be filtered down and drilled down into, and the same for the topics dashboard. And then based on other asks, there is a overview of the main subdomains as well as the handbook, just as the primary traffic drivers for analysis and comparison. And then there is just an overview of the overall page view trends from start of year to date, just to give a quick overview of performance. So that was just one of the things delivered. So next up is Brock.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I just completed a pretty solid look at what I think the closing bumper is going to be. Some of you, most of you will remember that I had done opening bumper earlier. This would be to close out a video, so to speak. And there might be a couple changes. It's not necessarily locked, but I don't think it's going to vary too much from there. And that was a bit of a conversation for me because as we start to add motion to the brand, especially going forward with everything we're doing, I just wanted to be careful that things felt right. So it feels like we landed in the right spot there, and I'm looking forward to rolling it out. And next up is Brandon.
Thanks. So the theme this week, or this sprint cycle for me, did I share the wrong screen? What am I here? I'm gonna do that again as soon as I find the button. And it's hidden. Apologies. Okay, so I am sharing the right screen. Good. So micro iterations, basically I made a whole bunch of little updates to the handbook for the digital experience team. And I'm not the only one who contributed to this. A lot of others did as well. More on that later. But so this top section here used to be a long list on the page that you'd have to scroll past. Now it's much more abbreviated. Added a few more items to it. And then I added this section here for checklists. So make it pretty clear as we're engineering and building these things out. Here's a checklist for merge requests, A/B tests, inclusion, diversity, and belonging. How do we regression test? How do we regression test pages? And if we're making a merge request that redirects something, we just got to go through and check it off. So if you ever come up with a checklist, please add it to that. It's great to have them as we're doing these procedures. And then a few other places, throughout the page have been updated. So, and some of these other, assisted pages as well. I think I've updated maybe 3 or 4 of those, just minor updates, nothing big. And, there was a little bit of an update that others did around the sprint cycle and, some of the other documentation. So little things there. And then the next few items I have here are micro iterations on the pricing page. So set a new control version of the page. We had a successful test recently. So going there and removing the temporary code, making it more permanent, and also adding some new tools to simplify the test, to simplify switching between a test and a control variant. Not a lot to see there visually, but it's a merge request, so you can take a look if you feel like reviewing the code. Another one is, so we have a bit of a before and after here. And basically the FAQ used to look like, a little bit different. So each item in there was in a list, and it's been requested for a while that we put them into a grouping sort of thing. So yeah, I'm glad we could finally get that done. And then let's see, next item on the list is, basically checkout steps. So this is another micro iteration where, if you, here's a little walkthrough animated GIF. And this was not done by me, by the way. This was done by the product team, but I, kind of helped them out, pointed them in the right direction. And so, told them, where to change the URLs. And so it shortened that process. One of the steps, basically you choose between self-managed, and then you go here, choose your plan again, choose between, self-managed or not. So a little bit of redundancy there. So fixing up those micro iterations. And up next is Jess. As soon as I stop sharing my screen. There we go.
Thank you. Let me share. Okay, so the first thing I have is this, the next iteration of the pricing page after Brenda did all those awesome things. The next one we have up on the list is just a little call out kind of between the tiers and FAQ for the type of customer who would prefer to maybe like call in and talk to a sales rep rather than kind of going through the online process. We just give them a little blurb of like, hey, like how can we help you, and talk to an expert. So for desktop and for mobile. And then also in here, excuse me, I did some bonus research. I'm not going to open it up because it's a video and you can take a look at it later if you haven't already, but on our product tab on the nav, if you just click product, you go straight through to this DevOps lifecycle page. And we did some usability testing on that page, got some really great feedback from users, and that'll hopefully set us up for some other pages and some other iterations going forward. And I think Barker,
Yeah.
you're next. Yep.
I am next. I wanted to call out the digital experience team. I'm just so proud of everyone for kicking butt at the events template. We've all been working together, throwing in components here, rebasing every MR, just like speed flying through that process. And it's really cool to see us all working on that. So if you go to the live repo, you can see here's a directory we've been building. This is the actual template, and here's all of our awesome components we've been building. We still have a couple more that are getting added by the end of this week. And then this is, you can only view it currently locally because we're assembling it all, but here's where we're at right now with the template. So we got our blocks and we're putting them in there, and we still got some ones to do, but it's really cool to see it all come together. I'm really proud of everyone. And next up is Javi. You're muted.
Microphone. Hello. This is probably better. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I've been working on nav iterations. Right here, I have on my first link, I have an iframe. I think I'll share my screen so that the people of the world can see. So I have this over here, and this has been weeks and weeks worth of effort trying to get like things to not like fly off the page, getting things to work as they should within Slippers, which has been very exciting. Almost as exciting, or even more exciting, is trying to see how this works like on about GitLab, which has been like crazy. It's still not perfect. There's still like, let me see if I go to, let me go to a different page. Like some of them still have the old nav, which is like weird because I changed the default template on about GitLab, but some pages don't use that default nav, even though they don't have that layout like suggested. Some, oh, that's my bad. Let me go to pricing. Sometimes you have like issues with like the Z index and whatnot in terms of like, yeah, like the confetti and the text that's flying over. But I mean, on the pages that it works pretty fine. I do anticipate that if we use the CSS only approach for this, that we'll have to like go around and clean things. Like I'm sure if we scroll, yeah, there's like little things that happen. So just trying to like tackle those on like a one-by-one basis if we want to use a CSS only solution for this. But I mean, it looks promising. It's on the page. It looks as it should mostly. I mean, there's things about it. Like if you look at the implementation from like one to the other that are off, like the little check mark, some of the spacing is a little off, but like for the most part, it's like doing just fine, which I'm super happy for. And it's a big lift. Up next is Niall.
Okay, thanks. So now we're just moving on to the shout outs, and the goal is for anyone who wants to contribute to express gratitude within the team or across the company to folks who have been the highlight of your week, or in this case, 2 weeks. So first up is Brock.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Erica Flowers, and then over in technical marketing, William and Ty. I've been working with that group for a while now to get the demo video together. It looks like it just crossed the finish line. Just a hair too late to be sure. I could definitely be putting it in the show and tell, but it's pretty much right there and about to get going any day now. And the whole process with them has been great. Just tackling everything as it came in and the way we could iterate and pivot and work through it. I'm just really grateful. I felt like I learned a lot. Also about GitLab, to be honest, and I look forward to more. And next up, I have Anif.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'd like to say thanks to Brandon, Lauren, and Tyler for reviewing and merging all the merge requests I've been sending their way. And next up is Bree.
That's me. Hi. I just wanted to give a shout out to Tyler and Lauren and Sarah for, no, I'm not camping. This is my backyard. We closed down the unfiltered blog today, officially, if you didn't see the notice. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them for actually making it happen and dealing with the shitstorm of events surrounding that. So thank you so much.
May I just jump in? I just want to thank the content team for being so supportive on a hellish, truly fiery, hellish 2 weeks. So thank you all for backing up the blog as we, wade through the muck. And I appreciate everyone. That's all. Thanks for letting me interrupt.
All right, I think I'm up next. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been contributing to our handbook lately. Tina has done a lot, Laura, Javi, and I'm sure I'm missing quite a few people because I barely know what day it is anymore. But yeah, it's been great to see all the contributions going into the handbook, even if they're small. Every little bit counts, and so thank you for thinking handbook first. And looks like up next is Laura.
Yeah, I just snuck this one in after seeing Javi's navigation demo there. Wow, like that's a huge piece. It's going to go on every single page on the website. Huge undertaking to try and add slippers components to something that to a bunch of pages that don't have slippers enabled on them. So thank you for trailblazing that effort so that we can come in later and just use whatever method you used.
Oh, I would like to note that this change would also turn on slippers CSS globally, if it works, which is the hope.
So exciting. Okay, with that, we're going to sign off. See you later.